Now let's move on to the MCQs on this topic. We have around 20 MCQs we'll practice on this. Post that, I believe on unqualified, you should be completely comfortable with unqualified report on issuers and the CAMs. Which of the following paragraphs are required to be, and I want you to answer very quick. This should be like a rapid fire. Which of the following paragraphs are required to be included in the audit report of an issuer client, right? Except in case of adverse opinion or disclaimer of opinion. Which of the following paragraphs are required to be included in the audit report? See, you will always have opinion paragraph. You will always have basis of opinion paragraph. Now, critical audit matters paragraph will always be there, even if you have, you'll always be there. Critical audit matter paragraphs will always be there. Even if you don't have CAMs, you will mention no CAMs. In adverse, and the question is mentioned, except in case of adverse or disclaimer. In case of adverse or disclaimer, you don't have CAM, but the question is mentioned except in case of adverse and disclaimer. So which of the following will be included except in case of adverse or disclaimer? In case of, if there is no adverse or disclaimer, you will have CAM, you will have opinion, you will have basis of opinion. What you will not have is the emphasis paragraph. Emphasis paragraph is different from emphasis of matter paragraph. Emphasis paragraph is unique to issuers. We'll talk about it in the next session. So uncertainties are highlighted through emphasis paragraph. The answer is 1, 3, and 4, which makes it D. Next one. PCOB amended its audit report standards for audit of issuers that require the auditor to provide new information about the audit and make the auditor's report more informative and relevant. Which of the given statement is an example of one such amendment? Statement to disclose the audit tenure, statement to disclose the qualification of the members of the audit team, a paragraph detailing reasons for not modifying qualifying the opinion, all of the above. Which of the following is an example of one such amendment? The question is talking about the changes we have made. Guys, this should be very easy if you have followed the session today. What is the change they have made from the non-issuers report? Joe says A, Darshan says C. What about everybody else? Anastasia, Albert, Jules. What are your responses? There is a requirement to disclose the statement that we have served as the company's auditor since. Disclosure of audit tenure. This is the change. That's the first one. Are you required to disclose the qualification of the members of the audit team? No, you are not required to say whether the audit team members are CPAs or CIAs and all. You're not required to. A paragraph detailing reasons for not modifying? No. If you're giving unqualified opinion, you never detail why did you not give a qualified opinion. No, you'll not. All of the above is not correct. Why? Because B and C is wrong. That's why the answer is A. Which of the following is the correct placement for critical audit matters in an audit report? It's a separate paragraph, first of all. It's a separate paragraph after the basis of opinion paragraph. Separate paragraph after the basis of opinion paragraph. I hope you're clear with this. It's C. Guys, if you're all here, the best way to get the maximum benefit out of this session would be to answer the questions as quickly, right? Even if you get it wrong, you mark yourself how quickly you're getting it, right? That's why send your responses here and you can mark yourself. That's the best way. Because if I do it myself, right, you're not using, again, we're doing 20 questions today on this specific topic. We're doing almost all the questions that's there on the topics which we've discussed today on CAMs. You want to make sure you get them right. This one. With regard to disclosure of the audit tenure, which of the following indicates the correct placement? Within the opinion paragraph, within the basis of opinion paragraph, above the signature, below the signature of the auditor. What is the correct placement? You can send in your answers now. Above the signature, below the signature, within the basis of opinion, within the opinion paragraph. Joe says D. Nastasia says C. Darshan says C. Is it above the signature or is it below the signature? Below. So it's D. Which of the following paragraphs are included in the audit report of public company? You don't have the management responsibility paragraph. You don't have the other matters paragraph. You don't have the audit report or auditor's responsibility paragraph, but you do have the critical audit matters paragraph. D is correct. Which of the following statements is true with regard to critical audit matters? If there are no critical audit matters, the fact is required to be disclosed using an explanatory paragraph. Okay. They are a substitute for an explanatory paragraph. They are not a substitute for required explanatory paragraphs. If there are no critical audit matters, the fact is required to be disclosed using an EOM paragraph. What do you think the answer is for this one, guys? Joe says C. Darshan C. Nastasia D. See, if there are no CAMs, first of all, if there are no CAMs, it will be mentioned in the CAM paragraph. You will have a CAM paragraph itself, and you will have in this, it will be written, no CAMs were identified. No CAMs were identified. So if there is no critical audit matters, the fact is disclosed in the CAM paragraph itself, not in explanatory, not in emphasis of matter paragraph. The issuers, first of all, don't even have an emphasis of matter paragraph. So A and D are out. And like I mentioned, they are not a substitute for explanatory paragraph. CAMs are not a substitute. They are not a substitute for a paragraph. This is the correct statement. C. Are we clear why C and why not D, why not B, why not A? With respect to critical audit matters, which of the following statements is true? They are included in the audit report of an issuer entity. Yes, that is true. They are not included if the explanatory paragraphs are included. No. CAM is not a substitute for explanatory paragraph. So 2 is incorrect. They are communicated to the audit committee. That's correct as well. They are included if auditor issues a modified opinion. No, they can be included even if it's an unqualified opinion. So 1 and 3 are correct. 2 and 4 are not, which makes the answer A. Tell me if you're clear and I'll move on to the next one. Not C. They are included in the audit report, yes. They are not a substitute. So they are not included in the audit report if the explanatory paragraph needs to be included. This is a wrong statement. So 2 is out. And again, they are communicated to the audit committee. Yes, they have to be. And they're not included only if the auditor issues a modified opinion. It can be included only if, even if it's an unqualified opinion. So 1 and 3 are correct, 2 and 4 are not. The existence of audit risk is recognized in the audit report for a public company by the statement that the financial statement are the responsibility of the company's management. Our responsibility is to express an opinion. This is not talking about the audit risk. This is talking about auditors and management's responsibility. The financial statements present fairly in all material respects in conformity with GAAP. It's giving an opinion. It's not recognizing audit risk. An audit includes examining on a test basis evidence supporting that amounts and disclosures. This is talking about sampling. This is not talking about audit risk. Audit risk is not just the sampling risk. So don't confuse that. C is also out. Those standards require that we plan and perform the audit to obtain reasonable assurance The fact that you have mentioned reasonable assurance, why reasonable assurance? Why not absolute? Because there is audit risk. So this statement talks about the existence of audit risk. We are giving reasonable assurance because there is audit risk. The answer is D in this case. Are we all clear with this so far, everyone? Critical audit matters are specific to each entity. Yes, they are not common. Each entity will have its own critical audit matters. They are not common for all entities. They're not common for all entities within a particular industry. Not none of the above. They are specific to each entity. Okay. How does the auditor of a public company make the following representations when issuing the standard audit report on comparative financial statements? Consistent application of accounting principles. We don't mention consistent application, right? In the audit report, we don't mention, it's implicitly implied consistency. If you see the report, right? Our responsibility is to express an opinion on the financial statements. We are a public accounting firm. This is a statement of independence. We conducted our audit in accordance with PCOB. Those standards require that we plan and perform the audit to obtain reasonable assurance whether the financial statements are free. Our audits included performing procedures to assess the RMM whether due to fraud and error. Such procedures included examining on a test basis and evidence regarding the amounts and disclosures. Our audit also included evaluating the accounting principles and significant used, as well as the overall presentation. So you don't mention consistency explicitly. It's implicitly implied that the overall presentation should be fine. And again, if accounting principles are followed and overall presentation is fine, that means they are consistent. But examination of evidence on a test basis, that is explicitly mentioned, which makes the answer A. Examination of evidence of a test basis. This is mentioned explicitly. Such procedures included examining the evidence on test basis. This is mentioned in detail in explicit terms. This is implied. The answer is A. Consistency is implied. We don't mention it. That means the consistency has been followed. But whether we examine it on test basis or not, that is mentioned. Are we clear why A, everyone? Which of the following does not qualify as a CAM? I'll wait for you to answer. Which of the following is not a CAM? Significant estimates and judgments. They are complex. Yes, it's a CAM. High financial risk and audit risk. Yes, it's a CAM. Significant unusual transactions. Yes, it's a CAM. Calculation errors. No, they are minor errors. They cannot be a critical audit matter. C is not a CAM. Critical audit matters relate to are matters which relate to accounts or disclosures that are material to financial statements. Yes, that's what CAM is. Accounts or disclosures that are material to financial statements and involve specially challenging, subjective, or complex management judgment. Accounts or disclosures that are material to financial statements and involve specially challenging, subjective, or complex auditor judgment. It's again especially challenging, subjective, or complex auditor judgments, not management. That's why A is wrong. And CAMs are never immaterial accounts. It's never immaterial accounts. So C and D is out. The answer is B in this case. Are we clear why B is correct? Make sure you read option A and B very carefully. If you're in a rush, you can mark A wrong because mark A as the correct one. Because it's not management judgment, it's areas with complex auditor's judgment required. Answer is B.